Leslie Marshall. Welcome to everybody. Okay, so Toby, all this spending, maybe doing nothing better than doing something?
Please, Lord, lay me down to sleep and have them do nothing. Do nothing. First off, we've already done $1 trillion of deficit spending over the last 12 months. I don't think people quite realize this, that we've already borrowed $1 trillion and we've spent it on nanny programs, on our normal spending that we do for infrastructure, and all we have is a negative 4% GDP, 4 million jobs destructed. Maybe we let the market actually do its thing, number one. And number two, maybe we don't create this like stealth healthcare system, which the Dems have just decided to put in. This is a health care bill. This has nothing to do with stimulus.
Is it? Leslie, what do you say?
Toby, okay, let me get my coffee. I'm raring to go now.
Go.
But Toby, stick to writing the books, honey. Let me tell you, you got to be more proactive. That was part of the problem last time around. And by the way, that lovely bailout was the last president. And also, Democrats and Republicans
And it worked so well, right?
That. Yeah,
it works so
listen,
well.
I was against it, honey. I was completely against it.
But you're for
when it comes to the president's stimulus, package, hey, even Democrats have said, Republicans as well, obviously, because none of them voted on it in the House, but that the Senate is going to have to make major changes to this bill. I would agree with that. However, we can't not do anything. We have to do something.
Oh, really?
Still
Because
we have to spending a lot of
because
money.
doing something's been so successful so far.
But wait a minute, guys.
And Matt, actually,
remember, everybody was saying that. Let's leave it in the hand. This was just back in November. Everybody was saying, top economists were saying, leave it in the hands of the Federal Reserve. All of a sudden, interest rates are zero. You can't go any lower. What do? You have to do something.
Okay, we've been doing something for a while, Matt. And actually, you would say that GDP, maybe we're getting near the bottom. Maybe this quarter we could hit it, and the spending won't start tomorrow.
I think we are. And just to touch on a point real quick of Toby's point, let the numbers speak for themselves. We knew all throughout January that this stimulus package is probably going to pass. The market was down 9%. So that tells me that we don't want that stimulus package. Now let's take a look back at, where's this going? What's really going on with this market right now? And it completely looks terrible. But the GDP, I think, bottomed in the fourth quarter at 3.8%. The market was completely frozen in the fourth quarter. And I think we're only going to get better in 2009. So throwing money at it now, I think, is a little too late.
Gary B., is there a cost to throwing money at it now, to spending too quickly? What is that?
Well, the cost is that you're going to create this huge government bureaucracy that time and time again, Brenda, has proven to be inefficient. Leslie made the point that we have to do something. I will agree with her. The thing that we should do is cut taxes, not this silly little $500 rebate or $1,000 rebate or spend $20 million on food stamps or something like that. Just cut taxes. That is what works. The policies that, Obama will get us out of the recession with what he's doing. I agree with that. And right into a depression. That's what happened with FDR. Look, this whole Keynesian stuff, as I said time and time again, give me the one example where this has worked, and then I will say, okay, maybe it has a shot this time. But we're like 0 for 80 around the world on this stuff. It doesn't work, and yet, let's do it again.
Okay, Leslie, he's laid down the gauntlet there. Tell us when spending has brought us out of recession.
Well, you have to look. If we're going to leave everything alone, then we're all what are we saying here? That the economy is cyclical, and historically it's going to go up, it's going to go down. Well, there is some truth to that. But when you look at former times, let's take a Republican. Okay, you guys all like Republicans. Let's take Ronald Reagan, your greatest Republican. Even his financial advisor is in favor of not only an economic stimulus package, but this economic stimulus package. When it comes to cutting taxes, being that I want to pay less taxes, that sounds good. But what we need here, and I do agree
but you
with
still
Toby
haven't
about,
given us an example.
I do
I'm
agree.
waiting for that example, Leslie.
You're
of when this has worked before.
I'm not going to be able to give you an example of this plan.
There is no example.
That's the whole point. Right, and beyond that, if you look at what Reagan or what JFK, your greatest leader, did.
Give me an example, and JFK is not my greatest president. Just because I was born in Massachusetts, that is a myth that we must love the Kennedys.
Okay, hold on. I got to let Eric get in here. All right.
Look, here's what we can hope for. This porculus package here, this is going to stimulate the economy. $4 billion for community activists such as Acorn, $335 million for STDs. Come on, guys. What we can hope for is that it goes over the Senate, the Republicans in the Senate stand up, vote against it, send it back, mark it up, send it back to the House. Over time, you realize that this is not going to help. This is just a bunch of government waste. No way, no how this is going to help the economy.
At one point, it's actually brilliant politics because Now, 60% of Americans will not be paying taxes and will be getting money from the other 40%. You can win an election every day if 60% of the people aren't paying taxes. I mean, Obama can say, you know, like Bill Clinton, I feel your pain. But he doesn't need those other 40% to vote. He's locked in this votalitariat that are all about getting checks in the mail.
Can you guys do me a favor, since you think that tax breaks and, you know, giving the money back to America is such a great idea? Can you tell me what it did last year when we got rebate checks? By the way, mine still
That is not a tax cut. That is a rebate check. That's different.
And tax cuts have
and show me an example.
revenue.
Can you tell me an example of a tax break that did work when we were in a recession like we are right now?
Well, first off, this is a big
returns